everyone! Welcome to a special bonus episode of my Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Legend walkthrough. Today, if you'll notice the input display in the upper left corner, I am going to show you how to break this game over your knee and beat it in barely any time at all. Joining me today is Skyzo. How you doing, my bud?
I'm doing well. Hello, you two. And this is the beginning of the game, right?
It is.
Right.
Now, we still have to buy a few things. Most importantly, we need to buy a Puar card. That's centerfold to this glitch. As well as getting the Dragon Radar by talking to Bulma inside that house we visited. We don't normally do that in a normal playthrough because it just sits in our inventory and we get it later anyway. But now it's going to be what allows us to break this game so easily, or at least most of it. Check this out, check this out. Check out the input display. Boom! Do you know what just happened there?
No, I do not.
Okay, so the thing of it is, the Dragon Radar, and by the way, we're on the Japanese version because that has more glitches. At least version 1.0 does. All the English translations use 1.1. But anyways, the Dragon Radar is not an item that's supposed to be used in battle. So, normally, the game just, gives you a blaring warning if you try to do so. But, in this game, if you press A and a direction at the same time, you can bypass that limitation and trick the game into using the Dragon Radar while in battle. It freaks out a bit and spits you back out into the overworld without clearing out the battle graphics. So we sort of escape random fights by doing so. Now the thing of it is though, that can mess with some story triggers if you don't kill at least one random encounter beforehand. Because right now, we're at fake Raditz, and if we did the glitch now, the battle would just repeat ad nauseum. It would be like pressing the rewind button over and over. So we gotta kill at least one encounter so that when the battle is cleared, the victory flag is still set. Hopefully that makes sense.
Right, it does.
And this works on all versions. So this would work with your English translations as well.
So what did you just do?
I skipped the random encounter again. I skipped the encounter again, spat it back onto the overworld. And the Raditz fights goes much the same way. I'm gonna be cutting through a lot of the game as we go forward. So do the same with Piccolo, do the same with the other Raditz fight, do the same with the King Kai fight after doing King Kai's training. That at least stays the same in a regular game. And here's the card duplication trick. You open that menu, check out the second slot, and that freaks out the game. Now that is something that's exclusive to version 1.0. And the reason we fled once was to make the graphics at least somewhat readable. So what you do is you select a bunch of cards until there's only one left, and you have that orange brick be the last one you select, and just back out enough times and you can duplicate cards. Those orange bricks have an absurdly high attack value. So sometimes when we have to clear battles, those will be how we kill most things. And the other bonus is that it messes with the values, so it completely spikes Gohan's power level. He's sitting at 2.6 million right now.
Really, that's incredible.
Yeah. Now, again, you can't do that on the English version, but there's sort of an equivalent that you can do in that version, which I will show in the next bonus video. Now, when you're going 1v1 with Vegeta, you want to stall him with a Grandpa card and wait for Gohan to arrive, and then kill him, like so. Think.
Wow, that was pretty easy.
Also, it sort of glitches out Doria's text when you're rescuing the kid. So, go through the planet Namek stuff, get these warrior Namekians as you're doing so, and now we're gonna buy some more items. And it's gonna be very different than it was before. Oh, and for the card duplication, it really was as easy as it looked. For some reason, checking out a character's stats in the second row and then exiting out via the A button just really messes up the game's code for some reason. I don't know why.
Right, and something that I've observed so far is that these glitches seem pretty easy to do.
They are.
Maybe not as easy in the English translations, but...
All the ones that work at all in the English translation are just as easy to do. And if you notice that we bought a lot of monkey cards, that's because now we don't need to spend nearly as much on other items to kill all the OP bosses, so now we can just run through most dungeons with bubbles. Like I said though, the bubbles effects, it clears all random encounters, but only for a certain amount of steps. So when I go through dungeons, I like listening to music cues. Every time the pitch changes, like the music is about to go da 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 da. Like, when you hear those sounds in the music, that's when I like to time my bubbles cards, because I never use more than 4 at a time, even in the largest rooms.
That's a great, soundtrack impression that you just did there.
Thank you. And pick up a few items. By the end of this, we're gonna need to buy 13 more Bubbles cards and 1 more Escape card. There's actually a variation of that battle skip glitch involving the Escape card that is useful specifically for Raccoon and Guldo. Which is fitting, because that's also the hardest fight in the game in a regular playthrough.
So, what other differences are there in this version of the game, outside of glitches?
Not really sure. There's a possible text error while Goku is training, because I see a bunch of dialogue, and he keeps using the number 6. I didn't look into the Japanese that deeply, but it could be that he keeps on saying he has 6 more days left.
Right, so it's essentially identical.
Yeah.
Interesting. Usually we have, some kind of content that didn't make it over to the international release.
Well, what I know is that this game is so buggy that the programmers actually apologized for it in the instruction manual. Or at the very least, they warned players, hey, some weird things might happen when you're playing the game. Don't be surprised. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was just bug fixes.
Did they really do that?
They did.
Wow, I have to see that.
Alright, so that last glitch card, we don't especially need it for anything else. And more importantly, it will actually throw off the next card duplication we do. So make sure to get rid of it at some point. Also, you see those cards that have a lot of blue lines in them? That's the demon symbol card. You'll see it in the how do I describe it? I'll put it in the description. But yeah, avoid using that card, because you need at least one of those cards for the next card duplication to work. And you also need to get rid of the glitch cards. So keep that in mind.
Maybe you're talking about the one with, like, it's kind of like a square with, like, a bunch of lines in the middle. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Right.
It's Gohan's symbol.
I see.
And now we can just go straight to the cave. To be honest, it's kind of refreshing in a way, just not having to worry about a lot of the extraneous details.
Yeah, this game, like, so far this round just kind of goes to show how much, like, the animations in the game just pad out for time. Like, if you just skip them, the game would just last several, like, maybe an hour less. Like, there's just so much content that you just stretch over.
Indeed. Also, 13 bubbles cards, one more escape, and that's exact change right there. 0, 0, 0 money. Satisfies my OCD.
You have OCD?
I do. And Asperger's syndrome.
Oh.
Alright, card duplication. Now put Gohan in the third row. And, let's see. Oh, we didn't even need to go into the stats screen that time. That's right. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with the way his power level messed up. But for some reason, putting Gohan in the third position, and then having him use a special card like that, the one with his symbol, causes that phantom card to show up. So if you press that, back out, and then press it again, you get that sort of strange glitched out style. And that allows you to glitch other cards in the future. Also, I'm waiting for the next music cue.
Right. Interesting.
And the interesting thing... Actually, this is my favorite skip. There's this long, drawn-out flying animation and everything like that, but the battle screen still hasn't been cleared.
Yeah, this looks... honestly, looks pretty cool, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of looks like you're flying over a galaxy or something.
Okay, here's the weird skip. So instead of using the Dragon Radar, you use the Escape card. Because I guess this game counts it like you're in a dungeon for that fight or something? I have no idea why that works. I just know that if you use the Dragon Radar, the fight repeats ad nauseum. I also know that the glitch card I'm using has different effects depending on what its defensive values are. Fortunately, it always spits out the same stats, so if you escape enough times to where it has a 3 symbol, you'll make sure that it doesn't do anything bad. So we want 3 of those glitch cards and 2 of those favorite cards that we made with our Goku card. And if you're having trouble figuring out what I'm doing with these glitches, don't worry, I'll explain them more thoroughly in the description.
So when you say that a battle can go on ad nauseum, you're talking about the battle going on infinitely, right?
I mean, technically it ends, it just starts back up again like nothing happened. Kind of like using the Sands of Time in our last Let's Play.
Right, but you can eventually battle, like, if you fight through the battle, it will end.
Yeah, but then it will start again.
Oh, so it is an infinite loop then.
Yeah.
So it never ends.
Effectively. I mean, technically it does, it just clones infinitely.
Well, then it's a soft lock then.
Yeah, if you don't know the trick.
Right.
And now for our favorite card. Another demonstration of just how awesome Gohan is. There we go.
Wow.
And there we go.
So the glitch cards, I guess they have like 999 attack power, right?
It's a lot. I don't know what the exact value is, but it's a heck of a lot more than what Z's putting out. I'll tell you that much.
I'm guessing it's like an underflow when you have 0 and you just subtract it by 1 and you end up with the maximum value that it can store, like the variable. I'm guessing something like that.
Probably. If I had to guess, it's probably something like either 255 or 127, depending on whether this game uses unsigned or signed integers.
I'm glad you know about those.
Thank you. Oh, and we used a Scouter B that we won from the Ginyu fight, because we're out of bubbles. A speedrun would take some slight risks and stretch out the bubbles cards for a little longer than they would normally last, but this isn't a speedrun. It's a speedrun guide, but not necessarily a speedrun.
Right, so I'm guessing there's something wrong with the palette, because I don't remember seeing this.
That's what happens when you use a Scouter. It's intentional this time.
Oh, okay, so it just never cleared it, I guess.
Not yet. Oh, here's something exciting. The Scouters actually work on bosses too. It's just that they break if their power levels go too high. But more interesting, you can see their HP now.
Really? So this... Is this like a leftover feature?
No, the Scouters just give you more detailed info on the enemy.
Oh.
The unfortunate thing, though, is that they break if the numbers go too high. Like, I think Scouter B is 300 million, and Scouter A was based on one of the older models in the show. I think it was something like 22,000, 21,000, somewhere in that range.
Well, are we going to be seeing it break?
We are.
Okay, that's exciting.
Indeed. Here's Frieza. And there it goes breaking.
Oh, it didn't take long at all.
Frieza's power is just overwhelming, and this isn't even his final form.
Yeah, and his palette was messed up. I don't know if you saw that.
It was. I did. Also, I know it seems somewhat arbitrary which ones I'm Dragon Radaring and which ones I'm just beating up. To be honest, I don't know the differences between the battles myself. I'm just going by what I saw in the world record speedruns by a drum boardist and I think a Japanese guy that has Fizz 201 or something. So what I think it is that some fights will soft lock you or repeat if you don't clear them properly, and others will let you proceed. I couldn't tell you the exact science behind it, though.
Right, okay, well, I'm gonna go watch that sometime, the world record on this.
Yeah, I tried to get in contact with Drum Boardist, but I don't think he got back to me. Unfortunate, but oh well. Oh, and for that first Frieza fight, we used a Grandpa card on him before ending it preemptively. And for this one, that's when we used the Dragon Radar. And that has the odd effect. The cutscene with Piccolo arriving never got to play out, so we just go on without him.
Really? Wow.
Yep. Not that we need him, but still.
So this part is probably gonna be broken then when you leave the battle.
Oh yes, very much so.
You know, it's pretty incredible that the game doesn't actually crash, it just produces these bugs.
Kinda like Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah, well, assembly code is very resilient, so...
Just keeps chugging along like everything's fine. Oh, and for this one, you want to hold down and keep mashing A. If you don't do that, oh, this is after we run away from this guy. So hold down, keep mashing A, so you bring up the fly menu. If you don't do that in time, the battle will loop again. It's only for this specific one. After this, you want to go right for about 4 to 5 seconds, making sure not to get stuck on the wall immediately right. And then you want to go down, and that takes you to approximately where Frieza will be after he's decided to stop messing around. Until then, you're just Dragon Radar skipping all of the random encounters, flying back and forth while dealing with the screen changes. Because even in this playthrough, there's a lot of filler fights you have to run from.
Right, okay, interesting.
And of course, I cut out most of them. Jump cuts are your friend.
Yeah, so I guess in real time, how long would this take?
Well, the world record is 47 minutes.
I see.
And now to kill this dude with our uber powerful key cards.
So this is his, I believe, final form, or am I missing something?
Third form.
Right. So how many forms does he have?
He has just this one final one. 4 in total.
Oh, okay, in the same model.
Yep. And something cool is about to come up.
What's that?
Frieza in his final form. A cinematic that plays if Dende is still alive. He can heal you up to full if he's at max level. But more importantly, this will end the only way it can end. Krillin, with the Kiens on, ending Final Form Frieza once and for all. Go, Krillin, go!
Yeah, so this would be the weakest character that we have, right?
No, he's the strongest human character in the show. It's just that in the show, his death was what triggered Goku's Super Saiyan. And then Goku kicked Frieza's butt, and the rest was history. So this time it's Krillin killing Frieza.
Wow, that is something. So I guess who would be the weakest unit in this game that you have access to?
Chiatzu, easily.
Right, so that would be the kid with the black hair, right?
Yep, black hair, looks like a mime.
Oh, okay.
This is Gohan. He's one of the best characters.
Oh, okay. That was the one that I was thinking about. So, I guess in a normal run, how long would it take you to finish the game?
Slightly under 2 hours.
Damn, this is such a short game, man.
It is. It's one of the reasons I like it more than I would have otherwise. Because, as flawed as it is, it's also short enough to where the flaws don't get too pronounced. I mean, well, they kind of do towards the end when the game's kind of just becomes an interactive cutscene with Piccolo and Frieza and all that, but till then, it's at least holds your interest.
Could you imagine if this was a 30-hour game?
Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
That sounds like a nightmare, having to sit through every animation.
Oh. Anyways. Yeah, Skyzo?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, this was an incredibly interesting playthrough. I want to see that world record and the instruction manual that you told me about. That sounds pretty interesting.
Alrighty. Let's see. Let me link you this stuff. Speedrun.com. That's where you can find this huge repository of speedruns. From there, you just gotta put the game in the search bar, and there you go. Not every game is available. Like, for example, like for Dragon Quest VI, a lot of that was my own research, plus what I could glean from Japanese speedruns, but you'll find a lot of your favorites. Mega Man X, Dragon Quest 1, Ninja Gaiden, that sort of thing. So, have a nice day, everyone, and God bless you.
Right, well, see you later, you two.
Bye.